Alright, good morning everybody. I'm Aaron Heiser of Maker's Leather Supply. That's me. Many days at my job start out with those words. And if you've ever heard that introduction, you might also be a leatherworker. My name is Aaron Heiser and I run a leathercraft supply store in Waco, Texas called Maker's Leather Supply. I love leather. I love making things out of leather. I love teaching others how to make things out of leather. I come from a long line of teachers and Methodist ministers, and I know that teaching and helping others learn is in my blood. When I first started learning this trade, it was difficult to find someone willing to teach you. There were no social media groups, no YouTube videos, and it would be tough to get an old saddle maker to show you anything because they didn't want you to become their competition. I teach and make my videos so that others might not have to struggle as much as I did, as I wasted plenty of money on materials that got ruined and tools that weren't even the ones I needed. I've been doing leatherwork since around 2003 when I was in the Army. I needed a creative outlet that helped me focus and kept me out of trouble. I started making small projects for friends and family, charging just enough money for those projects that I could buy the next tool or piece of leather that I wanted. As my military career progressed, so did my skills and abilities as a leatherworker. The extra money I earned from creating with leather went from buying tools and leather to buying motorcycles and hot rod parts. This means that the hobby that originated to keep me out of trouble was now exactly how I could get into trouble. I retired from the Army in 2014 and moved back to Texas, where I opened a custom leather shop and sold some crafting supplies. After a couple of years, I was not enjoying making custom leather items for the public and placed the supply side of my business as the forefront of my efforts. Within a short time, our store became well known in our industry as a place to not only find supplies, but also learn how to use those supplies. As with any craftsman, my tools are very special and important to me. I've collected quite a number of tools over the years, and all of them have a purpose and place in my shop. There were times when I was stationed in remote locations of the world where I didn't have the tools I needed. I would have to get pretty creative to design or modify tools to fill my needs. It turns out you can make leather stamping tools out of all kinds of things if you have enough imagination. One of the most important tools I use now is my sewing machine. When I was a kid, my mother sewed all the time, but of course I never paid attention or wanted to learn. Now I find myself wondering where my skill set could be, and I just sat down and learned a few things back then. People ask me what my favorite thing I ever created was, and that answer is simple. It's the last thing I made. Every project is a compilation of lessons learned from previous projects. Every one is a little more refined and a little more complicated. My wife, Janie Sue, jokes that once I have perfected a new design or pattern, I am already bored with it and moving on to something new and different. This is pretty true for the most part. I usually have to make 3 of an item before I'm happy with the design. Not long ago, one of my daughter's friends said she wanted me to teach her how to make a purse. My daughter told her that it wasn't necessary for her to learn to make her own. She could just come to the shop while I'm making purses and there would be a couple of them in the trash can. Once a design is complete, I create how-to videos and make the patterns available in our store. So thanks for checking out this episode of Just in the Making. I am Aaron Heiser, and if you want to learn more about leatherworking, take a look at my YouTube channel, Maker's Leather Supply. Have a great day.